in school again, but this time round when they were expecting a visitor. Why is this so? Yesterday at the Entebbe International Airport, when King Mswati III was arriving at the Entebbe International Airport, there was a lot of preparation, and it brought me back to the memories of 2007 when we were holding the CHOGM, or the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting. Many organizations, many schools were preparing, and I'll start with Robert Chirabo. I don't know, during your days of school, if at all you had those days of, let's say, a bishop pastoral visit, or when you're expecting a member of parliament coming in, how were you preparing for such days?
First of all, good morning, our viewer. Thank you so much for choosing to wake up with us this lovely Thursday morning. Now, of course, there had to be sometimes you'll be part of those that are going to dance or entertain the guest. Then there was general cleaning around the school, and you would ensure that if you're among those that either are going to read a small statement away from that dancing and entertainment, but you would also, but the statement of course was not your statement.
It was on behalf of the school.
Not even on behalf of the school. They would make it look yours.
But so that you own it.
You own it, but to be honest, it wasn't yours. The teacher writes it, and then you're there, us as students, us as pupils of this school, Archbishop. Nothing is yours there. Everything has been written for you, or you've been told to cram, because we are good at cramming those days. You've crammed everything, and there you are before the guest, and those he has come with are clapping hands, wondering how brilliant you are. Kumbe, there is nothing that is of yours. It is only the teachers who have. And these days I also see it in some schools. You find that the child is making sense or what, but it's the teachers giving the child exactly what they want to be taught, and this guest of honor thinks, okay. Now, away from the music, the smartness, sometimes they would make you overwork. Even scrub walkways, because the Archbishop is coming to visit. You scrub and scrub, everything would look so clean. And thereafter, sometimes you'd even get beatings in case of misbehavior. So it wasn't only about joy. On a few moments, a few of us would be chosen to feast with the guest of honor. So maybe in the dining hall, there's a special, of course they won't eat the portion beans, so there's that special, he's going to be around. Then they choose those very vocal, smart, intelligent young, maybe they choose the head girl, the head boy, a few representatives, class monitors, but also a few students to dine. So you'd enjoy that good food, because our days usually it was potato and beans, were like poultry fed on.
Well, now it does now reflect to the situations that was the situation that was happening here in Uganda as we were gearing up for the NAM and the G77 summits, where Ugandans were questioning the government for doing things last minute. But it does seem like it's something we're used to right from school. And it was something that was already laid from our school days, where if you're expecting a visitor, you have to do thorough cleaning, make sure that the visitor finds you in the best,
and you know what annoys me so? What annoys me is you want to create a false picture and image to the visitor, yet if you saw the right things, because sometimes we would even hire things that we don't have at school, hire them. So the guest thinks you have them at school. You
know, Chantal has mentioned something to do with that this is something that also happens back at home. Good morning, Chantal.
Good morning, Sonko. Well, you were talking about last-minute preparations, and the truth is most families, they only clean under the chairs and dust and the cobwebs only if they're expecting visitors. Short of that, it will be just mopping where people can see or where you can see, and maybe the utensils done, and that's it. And I think that if it's changing, it has to change from our families to our schools, and then now upwards.
Well, and that said, it's Thursday. I don't know what you, our viewer, are throwing back to, but me and the team here were throwing back to some of those days where you were expecting visitors, and maybe at home or even at school, that kind of preparation that we normally were subjected to ensure that the visitor doesn't find you in shambles or to find the home or even the school in a situation whereby they will need to question whoever runs that environment. But that said, we do have more news coming your way here, and we start with the local side of things to see what has been making headlines within the media.
Well, we begin with the no-return journey of Tamale Mirundi, where after several years of dedicated national political and media service, lung-related complications became Tamale Mirundi's source of misery. This led to the journey of his life, taking on the journey of no return towards the closure of Tuesday the 13th of August this very year. But as the country mourns and celebrates his life, questions have kept coming in. Who was Tamale Mirundi? Here is a simple profile of Tamale Mirundi. Whether a public engagement or while appearing in the media, Tamale Mirundi meant what he said and said what he meant. Mirundi's 60-year journey came to an end on the 13th of this very month, having begun on June 30th, 1964. Hailing from Rakai district in southwestern Uganda, Joseph Tamale Mirundi was a distinguished journalist, an author, a political analyst. He often prepared to be known as the son of Yohana Mirundi and Mole Namatovu. Renowned for his sharp commentary across various media platforms, he was always and will be remembered as a bold journalist whose critiques of authority often sparked both conversations and controversy. Once upon a time, a writer of the newspaper called Muno, Mirundi served as the presidential press secretary until July 2015, when he was relieved of his duties after 13 years. A Ruwiri Senior Secondary School alumni, Mirundi earned a bachelor's degree in mass communication and a master's degree in communication. In 2019, he revealed that he had been poisoned, although it was unclear if he had fully recovered from the incident. According to medical reports, Mirundi succumbed to lung-related complications on Tuesday at around 11:40 p.m. at Kisubi Hospital, where he had been receiving treatment for over a month. His distinctive approach to discussing issues often led to comical imitations of his person. At the age of 60, Mirundi is survived by 2 wives and children. Tamale Mirundi Jr. is among the children of Tamale, the late now. And away from Mirundi's profile, we now move to Parliament, where the issue of street children that were evicted from the streets of Kampala this year remains unresolved and a push factor to child trafficking in the Karamoja sub-region. While presenting at the floor of Parliament, the woman member of Parliament Napak District, Faith Nakuti, said the 3 hosting schools in the region are overwhelmed with the numbers, facing difficulties in management of the children, a status that contravenes the boarding schools guidelines. Responding to this revelation, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, Thomas Tayebwa, instructed the Ministry of Education and Sports to provide a statement of policy guiding boarding schools. At the end of last year, government were preparing for the NAM Summit, and the G77 plus China effected the evacuation of street children from the streets of Kampala to Karamoja sub-region. A month later, the woman member of Parliament says the initiative has been in 3 hosting schools in Karamoja, which are now very overwhelmed, and appealing to health leaders to come and take action, seeking for government intervention. Nakuti claims that if the issue is not attended to, this might reawaken the children trafficking cases that had for a while stopped. On this, the 3rd Deputy Prime Minister, Rukia Nakadama, promised to involve the Office of the Prime Minister for adequate intervention. The matter also attracted the attention of the Ministry of Education and Sports. The Deputy Speaker of Parliament, however, instructed The Ministry of Education is supposed to provide a full statement on the policies guiding boarding schools and what can be done. Still on the local scene, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Lesotho has had a benchmarking tour at the National Agricultural Research Organization laboratories in Kawanda. The Prime Minister visited Kawanda to enlighten him on the existing cooperation opportunities for his country and Uganda. The delegation was led by the Prime Minister and was received by the Minister of State for Agriculture in charge of fisheries, Helen Ado, and NARO's Director General Dr. Yona Baguma, among other dignitaries. This was followed by a guided tour around NARO's laboratories where new and improved innovations are carried out. The Director General of NARO, Dr. Yona Baguma, paraded a number of research and said this contributes to socio-economic transformation of Uganda. The Minister of State for Agriculture in charge of fisheries, Helen Adoa, highlighted the need for partnership between Uganda and the visiting countries' leaders for development of both countries. The Prime Minister of Lesotho commended the research conducted at NARO and promised to send more of his officials to benchmark what NARO is doing. Matekere called upon the government of Uganda to return a visit to their country and tap into their edge-cutting technology. And finally, on the local scene, several houses on the side of Kiteezi landfill entrance have started submerging in the water pool that was created adjacent to the landfill. The affected residents say that their houses had initially been mapped out by KCCA for compensation to create a buffer zone of 200 meters. These are some of the houses that are closing in to sink into the water that formed due to the overflow of Kiteezi landfill. The houses are in the 200-meter radius that KCCA had mapped out for compensation to create a buffer zone in 2015 after portions of the garbage messes started showing signs of disaster. In the first assessment, which was conducted by KCCA in 2015, out of over 30 households that were assessed and mapped out as being in risky zone, 8 households are under Bibanja, where compensation is hard to determine. According to the document obtained from Lusanja LC zone, the 8 houses who were in total value and given 391 million shillings. The money that was given to each individual household was also subjected to 25% discount towards legal aid. Those who were in the same radius but not compensated decided to destroy in the risk zone, while others decided to keep their houses on key and lock and seek refuge in other areas waiting compensation. 9 years later, the accumulation of the solid waste has created a water pool and water has started to overflow into people's homes. Many of these affected around this area say they have never been compensated even after they were assessed and valued. According to some of the residents that UBC interacted with in November 2023, KCCA asked some of them to leave and find places to stay as their compensation is being handled.
Well, the compensation is surely being handled for what we are hearing so far. But that said, we do have more news coming your way, but this time around away from Uganda, and that is coming in from Chantal Olive Akandinda.
Well, Sonko, it does turn out that Hamas will not be joining the Gaza ceasefire talks, and this is according to senior officials who told the BBC that they will not participate in the indirect talks on a Gaza ceasefire and hostage release deal due to resume in Doha on Thursday. The Palestinian armed group wanted a roadmap for implementing the agreement and would not engage in negotiations for the sake of negotiations in order to provide cover for Israel to continue its war, the official said. He reiterated that the roadmap should be based on the proposed deal outlined by U.S. President Joe Biden at the end of May and accused Israel of adding, quote, new conditions. Israel's prime minister has denied doing so and said Hamas has been the one demanding changes. The talks are still expected to take place even without Hamas, as U.S., Egyptian and Qatari mediators say they could use them to put together a plan that resolves the remaining issues. They suffered several setbacks last month and have been suspended since Hamas's political leader and chief negotiator Ismail Haniyeh was assassinated in Tehran. The U.S. hopes that finalizing a deal could deter Iran from retaliating for the assassination against Israel, which has neither confirmed nor denied involvement, and avert a regional conflict. Moving on, Afghanistan's Taliban has celebrated 3 years in power with a military parade paying homage to its homemade bombs, fighter aircraft and goose-stepping security forces. The Taliban's armed forces towed Soviet-era tanks and artillery pieces through Bagram, the former United States Air Base, where Chinese and Iranian diplomats were among hundreds who gathered for the parade and speeches on Wednesday. The air base served as the linchpin for the U.S.-led operations against Taliban for 2 decades. The Taliban forces seized Kabul on August 15, 2021, after the U.S.-backed government collapsed and its leaders fled into exile. The anniversary is marked a day earlier on the Afghan calendar. The Taliban government remains unrecognized by any other state, with restrictions on women who bear the brunt of policies the United Nations has called gender apartheid remaining a key sticking point. And lastly, the World Health Organization has declared the mpox outbreak in parts of Africa as a public health emergency of international concern. The highly contagious disease, formerly known as monkeypox, has killed at least 450 people during an initial outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo. It has now spread across parts of Central and East Africa, and scientists are concerned about how fast the new variant of the disease is spreading and its high fatality rate. The World Health Organization Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said the potential for further spread within Africa is beyond and is very worrying. A coordinated international response is essential to stop this outbreak and save lives, he said. Mpox is transmitted through close contact, such as sex, skin-to-skin contact, and talking or breathing close to another person. It causes flu-like symptoms, skin lesions, and can be fatal, with 4 in 100 cases leading to death. There are 2 main types of Mpox, Clade 1 and Clade 2. A previous Mpox public health emergency declared in 2022 was caused by the relatively mild Clade 2. However, this time it is far more deadly, Clade 1, which has killed up to 10% of those getting sick in previous outbreaks. That is surging. And that's it for our international stories this morning.
Oh, the mpox is now a global health emergency, so look out there for your loved ones as well as relatives. Right. Now, we head to the press review this morning to see what is in our dailies, with the New Vision highlighting the 9 lives of Tamale Mirundi. Read about Tamale Mirundi, more of his controversial text as well in today's New Vision. Now, a look at the veteran journalist's life, 1964 to 2024, as President Museveni welcomes King Muswati, Victoria of the First Lady, and the President, plus King Muswati and his Queen at the State House in Entebbe as well. Now, look at the tenders: Finance Ministry, URA, Bank of Uganda, UNRWA and World Vision, as well as Kamuli. Then in the business vision, government plans to earn 231 billion from exports. How will those plans be achieved? Then in crime, police probe murder of ex-Tororo head teacher. Now, India Day. India commemorates 77 years of independence, as in the supplement, Uganda Bati also celebrates 60 years. Then the Daily Monitor, City Hall in a deep hole, says the Daily Monitor. Developments reveal KCCA ignored warnings on Kiteezi. Is a pictorial of the ED and her deputy at the front page of the Daily Monitor. Then DM Today, matters relationships. My family was against a Uganda husband. The lady shares her ordeal. Now, the Tamale Mirundi you likely never knew, as the tribute continues. Then, in the other news, verdict on service award leaves lawyers in a daze, as why crossing Karuma is now a major hurdle for travelers. Then in business, Kampala facing housing crisis, according to a new report. Find out more in the Daily Monitor. Now to Kenya, the Daily Nation, inside the 1.5 billion Kenyan shillings Equity Bank heist. Credentials of a manager at the salary processing unit were used to process the transactions. Then Mount Kenya love affair with governor impeachment. Find more details in the political side of things. Then Nation journalist wins BBC Komlo Dumo Award. Find more of that in the Daily Nation. Then transport outcry over the Kenya Highways Authority plan to introduce tolls on key roads. Now dilemma, Kalonzo's tough options ahead of the 2027 polls. Then lastly, from our press review, we look at the Citizen. 33 million people in East Africa struggle with food shortage, according to a new report. Then Chadema to sue police officer and deputy registrar over youth meeting. Then in business, matters trade, ESC Logistics Center to open in October as Indonesia mulls preferential trade agreement with the East African community. And well, of course, looking forward to more news. You can find or grab yourself a copy of any of those papers to find details in there. Now, that said, Usain Bolt does have a record for running the 100 meters in under 9 seconds. Now, the question is, what can you do in those few seconds? Many people have been accused of not doing so many important things in a minute. But now, our song of the day this Thursday is 7 Seconds, coming in from Yosu and Nesh Cherry. Have a blast with this one. We'll be back with our newsreel.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
First, Pastor Cyrus talked about the foundation of any relationship. To be honest, it is the foundation that determines what the relationship is going to be like. What are the reasons why the both of you came together? If you got this woman using money, you have to hide the money from her. If her reason to come to you was money, then definitely. But if you came together, that's why for me I don't believe in the word marriage. I believe in a term called doing life together. Because marriage has been misunderstood, it has control, all that. I believe in doing life together. You come to me, I come to you, we are doing life together. Now, some reasons why some men hide money from their women is, first, they fear to be controlled. Two, in some families, the woman does not contribute to direct finance. She may contribute in terms of moral support, feeding, dressing, but earning. Now, some men feel, if it's me who goes out and makes this money, maybe for you, you stay home and do other things, then how are you going to have authority to know how much I bring, how I spend it? So then other women, sometimes they're extravagant when they know that money is around, or they tend to over push the man. He talked about families that are working together in terms of money, and he said they have gone so much ahead, they have bought land and all that. But some women, either it is good or bad, but once they know there is money in a home, they have so many plans, and sometimes as the person earning the money, mostly if they are not contributing directly into the basket. He'll feel, for example, a man will be getting maybe 1.2 a month. He comes home and the wife says, I've been watching TV. There are these plots of land, 9 million. So honey, do you know what you are going to do? Since we earn this amount of money, get 500. In a period of this time, we will have bought that land. Now, the husband looks at what he gets and slightly other responsibilities and maybe feels this is so much of a portion. But the wife is surely saying, next month, what the money comes, me, I'm going to the bank, I'm picking that money, depositing on this account. So sometimes some women, would I say very entrepreneurial or very, not ambiguous, but very, they want things to happen. They over pressure and push the man to achieve certain things because they know how much this person earns. And the man will have fear. Says, well, if you are going to go for a mortgage, but I have fees, I have the daily feeding. You know, for you, you're seeing the bigger picture, but there's this distance to this bigger picture. So how do we come up with that? But I wouldn't support a man to hide money from their wife.
Thank you, Robert. Pastor Cyrus, my question to you would be, why do you think, as someone who has done counseling, especially with couples, why do men hide money from the women? And why are we even centering the conversation on men hiding money from women, not women hiding money from men? I think someone out there must be wondering why we're having a conversation like that. And why are we putting center focus on the man, not the woman? We are not saying women should hide. We are all supposed to be transparent and honest with each other. But why are we putting even our focus more on the man, not on the woman?
Now, the reason we focus on the man, first and foremost, the man is meant to be the head of the family.
Right.
Okay? So he's the foundation.
UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't go.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100*21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Abantu batori nywena Nyati Motion Pictures ebaletire filmu erukuoleka ebyafayo bya toro kuruga hamukama wa tora yabandize kaboyo kasusunkwanzi. Ijo manyo urubuga rwa toro rukarugira nkaho kurweta Fort Poto.
Toro Kingdom was carved out of Bunyoro Kitara.
In 1830, King Nyamutukura
akasindika omutabani we
kaboyo byekire toro kama tongere kumutwekere bukodo.
I'm forming my own kingdom.
Nyoro na batoro basically muntu womu.
Tuko pamoja? Filimu enu neja kurorwa Hanyaika Hotel kya sabiti ebiro byokwezi 18 omwezi gwo 8 kutandika saa 10 kichweka izarwe bagyo. Kutunga tiketi yawe tere simu namba 0778 788 660.
Juko.
Yo.
Hawachikuwa. Check the shopping man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Nagangende tubona kiranda amina mu company Airweb Uganda Limited ndi member.
wemba member kampani eno weyeida twalinga tutuli bulungi ng'abakyala ab'ewakawaka abakyala ab'ewakawaka tuwemerera ku baami baife nga bonkana abajjamu nanda nga twiddi nti abakyala tebakozesa ki nanda UN Women weyeida yatuteekateeka yatwegesa okulunda engege ng'abakyala twatandika beeno okudulunda n'okudiriisa n'okolaki twafunamu ng'abakyala ababujiri district abakyala ababujiri district sofa tuli abakyala 14 abakola project eya web abakyala 14 twayawula mu sectors mulimu abakyala ba production abaliisa mwaba abakyala ba validation abongera engege omutindo bayongerako omutindo twaba n'abakyala ba harvesting abaharvestinga twaba n'abakyala abakola aba marketing sector donna diri trained era didi kyedikola ki kyedikola project eno tufunyemu ng'abakyala gavumenti yaife ne ya Uganda njebaza okujja kujanga batulingirira mu ng'abakyala abana Uganda eri kujanga etulobingira ebibiina bingi. We have UWEB baleta parish development model, we have myoga byona biri kwida muki mu bakyala oba mu bantu abaki aba Uganda.
Live from UPC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
And thank you very much for sticking around to Good Morning Uganda. We are now off to our newsreel conversation or our newsreel discussion this very morning. Now, looking at what has been happening in the country, especially in the medical fraternity, just a couple of weeks back, the medical interns were striking for failure to be deployed. And that is something that many of the other people were saying we should be putting our focus on the health sector. But at the backdrop of the medical interns going on strike or demonstrating simply because some of their fellows or some of their colleagues will not be deployed, there was also another twist of things. Now, this other twist of things is that many of the nurses and midwives are against the opposition or are against or are strongly opposing a proposal. Now, this proposal is to abolish the internship program for the graduate nurses and midwives. Now, many of them are putting forward their issues. Their voices need to be heard. Of course, besides the issue to do with deployment, besides the other issues and challenges many of the interns are facing at workspaces, the element of abolishing internship programs for the graduate nurses and midwives may simply be a harsh one to take. And that is a conversation we are going to be having this very morning. And we wish you, our viewer, to be part of it as well. Our guest this morning is the General Secretary of the Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union. Joining us this morning is Mirundi. A very good morning and thank you for joining us.
Yes, good morning, Kai.
I am well. Looking at the situation at hand, I wish to first of all understand, what does the union do? The Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union, what do you do? Are you a government entity? Are you an NGO? Are you a private organization?
Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union is one of the unions registered under Ministry of Gender Labour, and we are supposed to look at socio-economic welfare of the members of Uganda Nurses and Midwives, those nurses and midwives at work. We are supposed to protect their rights at work. Yes.
Okay. Protecting their rights at work. Speaking of the matters that have been in the news for the past weeks in regards to the abolishing of the internship programs and for the nurses and midwives. Let's get into that conversation right now. Where does this leave the midwives and the nurses, and what was behind the move to abolish these programs?
I want to go back to what the plight of a nurse. Nurses are trying very hard in this country to also develop themselves.
Okay.
The government is equally planning for these nurses and midwives in this country. But we need to look into so much about how to develop me. Personally, I'm a nurse.
Okay.
I did bachelor's in nursing,
okay,
but I also have a master's in management.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at nurses on duty, nurses who graduate, they need to be prepared. So we have different nurses, cadres. Like we have certificate nurses, we have diploma nurses, we have degree nurses, we have nurses who have done up to PhD. But along the way, when they are being prepared, when they finish school, not all of them go for internship. It's only degree nurses who go for internship. And it is...
Not even the diploma ones?
No.
Okay.
It's the degree nurses.
Okay.
After when you graduate, you have to do 1 year internship. And that is the time when you are allowed now to work on patients under supervision. They are preparing you to see whether you are ready to go and work.
Okay.
So if it is abolished, it means that those nurses are half-baked. It's like now finishing law and you are not going for LDC. So you must do that, and the doctors are doing it. Why should the nurses and midwives not do it?
Okay.
In Africa, in European countries, this is how it is. You must do internship. You must finish all the 4 years and now be supervised to see whether you have really gotten those skills to work on those patients. And it is very important. Yeah.
Well, and one may wonder, now what is the role of the union in such a circumstance where it does seem like if this is abolished, the chances are very minimal for a nurse or a midwife, or let's say a graduate nurse or midwife to get that 1 year of training before they eventually get a job or deployed somewhere?
As a union, we are not happy about it because we are looking at this nurse being prepared to go and work. And then for you are saying the nurse should not complete the course. Because I look at it as an exam, also part of the completion before you practice. So why is it that some people are saying, there are reasons, I myself I know, there are some nurses and midwives, for example, I will start from there. There are some of the nurses and midwives who go for degree in nursing after diploma. And you know, some of them are old. So they want to compete with the world. They want to go and upper grade and be promoted, maybe to be promoted, or you feel you want to have a degree even if you did not do what, go straight to do the degree. So some of them, they look at that 1 year, because that 1 year is very intense. So they can say, we are not going to let's not support this to go and do internship, because it will make us leave our workplaces, our area of work. Maybe you are now working in Mbarara, but you are being deployed as an intern in Gulu. So that alone can make some of them feel like it should be abolished. But I want to tell the country, I want to tell the viewers outside there that internship is very, very important. So if you don't go, even the nurses and midwives, I want to tell them this, that you must do internship. Because if you don't do internship, that means you are half-baked. And even the Nurses Council cannot register you to practice, because it is one of the requirements for you to practice as a nurse.
Well, I wonder, though, what are some of the reasons cited for the abolishment of these internship programs? Because I want to believe it was not just a move that came out of the blue.
But I don't know where you got this, because I actually had very well the session 8 years ago in Parliament, and the parliamentarians, they were supporting they were supporting Ministry of Health, that interns, all of them actually, they should go and do internship, and they even supported supplementary budget. So I don't know for you where you are getting it, but what I have just said about some nurses who support that,
yes,
the abolition, some of them, they don't want to go to live. Like you have always seen some people when they are given transfers, you see that someone is in denial, they don't want to be transferred from one place to another one. So some of those nurses who have gone for further studies, to add on your education, those are the ones who feel that internship is hectic and internship is going to make them now move from one place to another place. But otherwise, the law requires all graduates, medical people, to go and do internship.
All right. And of course, in a noted statement as of Tuesday, July 30th, 2024, as reported by the New Vision, is that the internship program for graduate nurses and midwives ensures that new graduates are competent, confident, and capable of delivering safe and effective patient care. Now, this document was signed by the association governing the Nurses and Midwives of Uganda Executive Secretary Dan Muramuzi, who was addressing it to the chairperson of the Interministerial Standing Coordination Committee, and the committee, which is composed of the Ministers of Education and Health, in regards to the same reports that I was sharing this morning of putting an end to the internship for nurses and midwives. But putting that aside, we started off so well with the plight of nurses and midwives in the country. One may wonder, what are some of the other issues at hand that many of the nurses and midwives are facing while at their different deployed places of work, especially those on internship?
Of course, one of it is that these interns, they face, they don't have enough supervisors, and we request government that they should at least pay some more supervisors to come and supervise them, because the degree nurses are few, but there are those who are trained, who are in training, whom we can actually pay to come and do the supervision. So it's not that, because the degree nurses who are employed by government, they are very few. So we really think that government should pay more supervisors from outside, because those who have qualified are many, but they are not all employed by government. So the supervision is a challenge. Also, accommodation. Like you can be here in maybe Kampala and you are deployed in Arua. It means that when you go there, you have to look for accommodation for yourself. And you know the money was reduced. The President of Uganda had wanted the people to get 2.5, but later, because of budget constraints, they reduced it to 1 million. So right now, if you have that 1 million and you are not living here in you are supposed to live here and go to another district, you have to fit within that 1 million. So it's also another challenge. The other challenge that is actually disturbing them so much is them to finish the course and then you are not deployed. That one is what is now an outcry outside there, because you know all the information which is there is that some people who graduated in 2020, 2021, 2023, they have just been given an opportunity to go for internship, and they have left those of 2024. So this one alone is disturbing all those people, even those who want to join what? The course. And also including our parents. They are very much disappointed about this. And also, and I think there is this one which disturbed me last night.
Okay.
The denying the nurses and midwives an opportunity to enjoy this the new placement. You know, when the first group, when the first batch came out, okay, it was only 346 nurses given an opportunity. Now, when things have been discussed, they have again raised another batch, and it's only three nurses and midwives, 1 midwife and 2 nurses. So that is a very bad, that is something that is showing us that there is a lot of injustice in Ministry of Health. And what the minister explained was that they have only given, they have prioritized people in the dentistry and also the pharmacists who are paid by government, like those who were on government sponsored. I was so mad on this. I can imagine that is because the law of equal opportunity. Even if someone did finish the course in private, okay, even if someone paid, okay, those who paid for themselves and those who were paid by government, why should you now prioritize those who are paid by government instead of applying equality? Like you give both, you try to practice, how do I say, like you give equal opportunities. Now you give a reason that these are government sponsored. So you don't want to leave those who are government sponsored, but you want to leave those who are private sponsored. It's very unfair.
I wonder though, I want you to help us understand and create a picture for my viewer.
Yes.
What consequences are likely to arise if at all we have so many unskilled nurses and midwives, given a situation?
Those who are, because now we are looking at, okay, when we look at the degree nurses, I want you to put them alone when you are talking about unskilled.
Okay.
Because I've told you that certificate nurses, certificate nurses, and diploma nurses, for them they don't do internship. So these degree nurses,
looking at the degree nurses.
Yes, they are the ones who are required before they register. They are required to do internship, that skilling part, the practical part they are supposed to do, to go, and they are deployed in hospitals and they are supervised to be, and they are prepared to be ready, to be competent enough to go and work on patients. Because what they do actually is more than what the diploma nurse and the diploma and the certificate nurses do.
Can you just help us understand what do they do? Because when you mentioned that certificate and diploma nurses aren't required to do the internship and only the degree nurses are required, I want to believe there is a difference in their roles, which I wish to understand.
Maybe let me also give you the picture of the time period they study.
Very true.
Because that one also stipulates at least the longer you go, the longer you are in school, also tells, like if I say a certificate nurse, a diploma nurse. For us in nursing, actually, when you look at a certificate nurse, they study 2.5 years. Certificate. Leave alone these people whom you hear that they have gone for 3 years and they are getting a degree. This nurse is supposed to study 2.5 years. So already that is enough time. It's longer enough. That's why I think they were removed from doing their internship. But they go for field work. They go and they are placed in hospitals, and they also do that field work. Then the degree nurse, the diploma nurse is the same. They study 3 years. The diploma. Remember, other courses you can do 3 years and you get what? a degree, but this and you get a degree, but this nurse is now getting a diploma. Are you seeing the difference?
Yes, I am.
Now the diploma nurse is going to do these 4 years. Then the 5th year is the degree nurse is now is supposed to do 4 years, then the 1 year for internship, like doctors.
Okay.
So that is the difference. Then these ones who are per grade, like for example me, I finished my certificate. That was 2.5 years. I did my diploma, and that was 2 years. Are you seeing 4.5 years? So there I am not supposed to go for internship. And now when I went for a degree, I had to go for 4 years because I was doing part-time. And that took me around 9.5 years. So you see, we studied for a long time. And the reason we studied for a long time, it's because we are dealing with health, with human beings. It's something that you need to understand. So that degree nurse, for example, who has done those 9.5 years, is again going for that internship to be prepared, to be tested to see, is this person actually ready?
Okay. And now how can we work together, policymakers, per se, Ministry of Health, and ask the public and then the advocacy groups to ensure the well-being of our nurses and midwives within the societies we reside in?
For me, for us as a union, we really think that this country should prioritize nurses and midwives because we are the heart of health. I can say we take 75% of health workforce. So if we are the ones really, you know how we work. We are in health centers. We are from health center 2, 3, 4. We are in hospitals. We are everywhere. So when they are budgeting, I don't know why they try to take it as a light thing, because this issue of internship, it's not the first time. We've been talking about internship almost every year. So I don't know why Ministry of Health cannot really prioritize this and look at like working together with other stakeholders. I don't still remember a day when the Ministry of Health called for stakeholders meeting and they call us as Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union. I don't know whether they just disregard us, but I want to say this, that even when there was a strike for increment of salaries, we are the ones who controlled these nurses, and we kept on telling them to be calm, and we controlled all hospitals to make sure people did not die. And so if I'm the one who is supposed to negotiate with government about salary increment, about the welfare, and you are not even talking to me for the whole year, 5 years down the road, there is no stakeholders meeting. You know, we have around four arms. We have Ministry of Gender Labor, which, I'm now telling
Ministry
you
of Gender, Labor and Social Development.
Yes. That
who
is
you
where
can report to
where
in case
we
of
register.
any issue. Okay.
Yes. In case there is harassment and so on.
Okay.
But now we have Uganda Nurses and Midwives Council. We have, when I'm talking about stakeholders, people who should be together in one house and discuss issues of nurses, we have Ministry of Health, we have Uganda Nurses and Midwives Examination Board. We have all these associations, other associations. So we need to be together to plan and see what are these things affecting our nurses and midwives at work and everywhere in schools. If that can be harmonized, I think we can be at par with Ministry of Health. The other thing is about planning. Ministry of Health need to collect all this data and be updated about how many people are being produced in schools who have finished, and you plan early. You now also submit a requisition or a budget to the government, to Ministry of Finance, which is going to help everybody, so that this noise is not here and there every day. When people keep on crying, when students keep on crying, it demoralizes these other scientists who want to go and join the course.
Okay.
That is why I think we should prioritize the nurses and midwives of Uganda.
Well, and that is that from our newsreel this morning as we're looking at the plight of midwives and nurses in Uganda. Well, I did start off with the conversation rotating around the midwives and their deployment or internship programs. And of course, some advocacy groups were saying maybe cancelling or taking off the program will make it easier for the government to prioritize this particular issue of the midwives and nurses. But however, when you look at the importance of internship, it adds so much to these nurses. I'll only go through 2 comments and say goodbye to you, our viewer. This one says, good morning, I'm watching live from Arua City, Ricky Health Center 3. He says that his submission is government should not compromise on the standards. The nurses deal directly with people's lives, so allowing half-baked nurses or midwives is poisoning on the future of the patients. Then this one says, good morning, UBC, thanks for the program. I think our parliament that appropriates resources has failed to prioritize health. These interns are supposed to be fully facilitated because they are going to deal with human life. It's not proper to have a nurse that is going to handle human life without enough practice. Otherwise, expect nothing but more death of innocent Ugandans. Kenneth from Fort Porto, thank you. This one says, the ones advocating for scrapping off the internship shall know its value when one of them falls in the hands of a half-baked nurse. In June, I saw stars when I was at the Health Service Commission, when I was being asked about what I've been practicing, and that's how I lost being recruited by the central government. This one is a comment from someone in Bolisa, Hillary. Then this one says, good morning, Madam Annette Birungi. This one says it's unfair to only discuss the plight of nurses and midwives who are not posted for internship, yet teachers, when they are deployed for school practice or college practice, and on private and not paid. Well, that conversation is also open for discussion when it comes to the education sector. Why we turned our focus on the nurses and midwives is because in the health sector, these are also part of the same. The other week, we're looking at the doctors generally, and we forgot to mention the midwives and nurses. But again, thank you for your comment, and that does it. I've been having Annette Virungi, who is the General Secretary of the Uganda Nurses and Midwives Union, joining us this morning. More conversations rotating around the health sector do continue here on Good Morning Uganda. For now, coming up shortly will be Irene Allen Namisango with the Good Morning Uganda Tourism Express. Stick around. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Abantu ba Tori nywena Nyati Motion Pictures ebaletire filmu erukuoleka ebyafaayo bya Toro kuruga hamukama wa Tora yabandize kaboyo kasusunkwanzi. Ijo manyo urubuga rwa Toro rukarugira nkaha kurweta Fort Portal.
Toro Kingdom was carved out of Bunyoro Kitale.
In 1830,
King Nyamutukura
akasindika omutabani we.
Kaboyo yekire Toro kama washongere kumumchwekere bukodo.
I'm forming my own kingdom.
Nyoro na Batoro basically muntu womu.
Tuko pamoja? Filimu enu neja kurorwa Hanyaika Hotel kya Sabiti ebiro byokwezi 18 omwezi gwa 8 kutandika saa 10 kichweka izarwe bagyo. Kutunga tiketi yawe tere simu namba 0778 788 0.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
The Itiso and the Kumam make the largest portion of the tribes within Soroti district, and what you've seen on the screen were some of the cultural dances that were presented during the International Youth Day celebrations that were held in Soroti at the Soroti Core Teachers College grounds, that is in Soroti district. And well, of course, that is a section of tourism that is regarded as cultural tourism. Now, tourism comes in very many forms: cultural, religious, and then the most predominant one that many people do look at, they love the one of the adventure and animal tourism that many people, or the wildlife tourism that many people look out for. I don't know whether that is the right word to use to term going on to game parks and reserves to tour, but Irene Allen Namisango will be back to give me more of the various definitions being used in the world of tourism. I'm Joram Paul Sonko. Now it's time for business this morning. We're going to start off with the Alcohol Control Bill 2023. Now, according to details and information coming in from the August House, in Parliament, it does reveal that Parliament has been deliberating on the proposal to introduce the new legislation regarding the purchase, sale and consumption of alcohol. Important to note is that this was to regulate the time when alcohol is supposed to be sold, and then also regulate on the type of alcohol to be sold, and then also regulate on the consumption hours and places where an individual can consume alcohol. Now, different stakeholders engaged with the Joint Parliamentary Committee of Health and Trade, giving their say or their takes about the Alcoholic Drinks Control Bill 2023, which was brought by a private member, Honorable Sarah Opendi, also the Tororo woman member of Parliament. Now, the bill flopped during its road to the second reading after the report of the committee failed to come to terms with the gaps which the bill tends to address. Now, besides that, the committee put it that the bill, being a private member's bill, will have a financial constraint in the consolidated fund, hence the House should reject it in its entirety. Now, the minority report, which was presented by Aru County Member of Parliament, Honorable Christopher Komakech, interested the members of Parliament to consider the cost benefits resulting from the abuse of alcohol in Uganda, but all of this was in vain. Now, Honorable Sarah Opendi blamed the Attorney General, who she thinks would interest the government in accepting this bill due to the damage which alcohol seems to impose on the population currently. Now, Opendi is considering to reintroduce the bill in the second phase, but many questions are around the entire bill and why the bill should not be passed by Parliament. Now, besides that, the chairperson of Uganda Alcohol Industry Association, that is Jackie, revealed that Jackie Tahakanizibwa did reveal that Alcohol Drinks Bill 2023 was initiated in a bad spirit, with the main motives derived by emotions rather than simply understanding the issues at hand. Now, Uganda is among the leading consumers of alcohol in the world, and so is on the African continent. And many of the other cases rotating around death and mental health issues or illnesses have been highly revealed to be caused by alcohol consumption or alcohol abuse by many of the Ugandans. Now, some of the clauses that were to be introduced in the alcohol consumption or the Alcohol Control Bill, the Alcohol Consumption Control Bill 2023, was to check on the time when alcohol should be sold, especially during working days, that is Monday to Friday, and then also putting a penalty on public consumption of alcohol. Now, away from that particular report, we now head to matters education, because the Ministry of Education and Sports, backed by the Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board, has put errant technical and vocational education training institutions on notice that they risk having their operation licenses withdrawn by January next year. Now, while releasing the May-June end of program UBTEB examinations at the Nakawa ICT Hub, the Minister of State for Primary Education, Joyce Moriku Kaduchu, who represented the Minister of Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, instructed the Permanent Secretary and technical team on the importance of inspecting the facilities and the TVET to ensure they adhere to the registration and licensing requirements before they can continue operating and offering education services. Now, when you look at the Uganda Business and Technical Examinations Board, together with the Ministry of Education and Sports, having released the 2024 May-June end of program examinations, the results indicated that out of 1,694 candidates who sat for the examinations, 1,468 acquired full competences. However, there were results of 34 that were withheld due to alleged examination malpractice. Well, now lastly, we head to Pakwach because leaders in Pakwach district are calling upon government to expedite the installation of culverts along Pakwachi Anaka Road, where Tangi River or the banks of the Tangi River persistently burst every rainy day for the past 4 years, making it very difficult for movement and then also for those who are doing business in that side. Now, their core homes after 3 days of floods in the area have further been interrupted, especially when it comes to movements for the motorists and, of course, also movements for those who are trying to access the nearby markets in order to supply their goods and commodities. Now, when our team visited the scene, they interacted with some officials from the Uganda National Roads Authority, who further gave more clarity that the matter is being worked on. And according to Engineer Justin Lukala, explained that there are some preventive measures that have been put in place by the Uganda National Roads Authority to ensure that if at all it rains, the roads are not damaged and neither is transportation affected. Well, we now turn our focus on the forex market to see how different currencies are faring on the exchange. This is courtesy of the central bank. Well, opening time, the US dollar was buying at 3,724.36 yesterday, while selling at 3,734.36. By closing time, the US dollar was buying at 3,726.32, while selling at 3,731.32. The Great Britain pound was buying at 4,785.98, while selling at 4,798.85. The euro was buying at 4,090.10 shillings, while selling at 4,101.09. The Kenyan shilling was buying at 28.90 shillings, while selling at 28.98 shillings. And the Tanzanian shilling was buying at 1.37 shillings, while selling at 1.38 shillings. The South African rand, on the other side, was buying at 205.45 shillings, while selling at 206.01 shillings. These are exchange rates that are updated 3 times from Monday to Friday. Well, that does it for business this week. We shall be back on Monday with the business updates. Chantal Oliver Kandinder is here with traffic updates. Good morning.
For the traffic updates, my name is Chantal Oliver Kandinder. Let's see how we are faring and how we can get to town in the fastest way possible by avoiding traffic. I don't know anyone who has ever loved traffic. So let's see how are we faring on the different routes. Now, I am at the Tuko roundabout The Tuko roundabout has a route that takes you to Yusufule Road, takes you to Chira Road, but also takes you to Binaisa Road, and also takes you to Haji Musa Kasule Road. So let's see how we are faring now. If you are coming from Chira Road, relatively safe. However, if you are approaching the roundabout, definitely you'll be experiencing a lot of traffic. This is evidenced by the deep red zones, as you can see. However, if you exit the roundabout and join Yusufule Road, you'll be finding no traffic. And if you are exiting Yusufule Road, joining the Tuko roundabout, you'll be finding no traffic. If you are exiting the roundabout, joining the Haji Musa Kasule Road, you'll be finding no traffic except when you get to the traffic lights, the Wandegea lights. And if you are joining the roundabout from Binaisa Road, definitely there is traffic on there that you should be aware of. And Binaisa Road stretches also past the roundabout that has Dwailo Road, that also has Katanga pedestrian path. You'll be finding traffic on Binaisa Road, and a lot of it, and also finding traffic if you are also exiting the roundabout. Still, you'll be headed for some traffic again onto another roundabout. Now this roundabout is the one that has Gayaza Kampala Road, also has Bombo Road, and also has Binaisa Road. So if you are coming from Gayaza Road, brace yourself. You are headed for a lot of traffic, especially as you are closing into the roundabout. But if you are exiting this roundabout, joining the Gayaza Kampala Road, you are okay to move because you are exiting town. Onto Bombo Road, as you can see, you'll be finding slow movement when you're exiting the roundabout, but after that you'll be finding no traffic. That is if you're continuing to Wandegea side. Now the behind parts of Bombo Road are mad with just slow movement, but nothing much for you to be worried about. Dwailo Road has no traffic at all. Kafero Zone has no traffic. If you're using it as an access route, I highly recommend this one. You'll be finding no traffic at all. And if you are using Dwailo Road, you're also not going to be finding traffic, so you are safe to use this route as you are trying to connect to town. Lower Mulago Hill Road still has no traffic. Kisingili Street, no traffic at all, as you can see. Mawanda Road seems to be safe for you to use, as you can see. And this Mawanda Road takes you all the way as you are connecting to Corner House, connecting to Tufnell Road or Tufnell Drive. You'll be finding no traffic. Tagore Crescent, no traffic. This is an access route, so definitely Tagore Crescent has no traffic at the moment. Katego Road is also another access route I can recommend if you are trying to join Chira Road. You'll be finding no traffic on that road. Now, the whole of Chira Road seems to be okay at the moment, especially the Kamocha side. You'll be finding no traffic. If you intend to use Starrock Road as an access route to connect to Prince Charles Drive, for example, you'll be finding no traffic. However, if you are planning to use the Kololo Hill Drive, you'll be finding slow movement as you are trying to connect to any other part of town. Now, if you are continuing on the Acacia Avenue all the way trying to connect to probably Yusufule Road, you'll be finding a traffic, especially when you are closing into the junctions. Now the junction that has the Finca head offices, that is why you'll be finding a lot of traffic. But when you cross through, you'll still be finding no traffic. The only other time you'll be finding traffic is at the junction that takes you to the Upper Kololo Terrace Road. You'll be finding a lot of traffic as you're joining and also as you're exiting the Upper Kololo Terrace Road. Also, if you intend to use another junction right next to that, this is the one between Protea Hotel and 4 Points by Sheraton, you'll be finding traffic. But after that, when you are now trying to join Yusufule Road, you'll be finding no traffic whatsoever. So I highly recommend that you use this route. Now, if you continue onto Yusufule Road trying to join the roundabout down here, the one that has Oasis Mall, you'll be finding no traffic at all. And if you use it to join Nile Avenue, no traffic either way. If you're trying to join Ginger Road, you will also be finding just slow movement and nothing to worry about until you reach the lights themselves. Access Road is mad with a lot of traffic. This is definitely because of the traffic lights that are on there. Also, if you are exiting town, trying to make your way to either Yusufule Road or continue to come to the Wampeo Clock Tower, you'll be finding slow movement and a bit of traffic as you are closing into the Wampeo Clock Tower. It is why you'll be finding a lot of traffic as you try to make your way to town. Now, Kofu Road has no traffic except when you are closed somewhat inside as you're trying to connect to Chadondo Road. Shortly before you connect to Chadondo Road, there is a bit of a hold up, but nothing to worry about, because after that, Chadondo Road has no traffic in case you're joining Chadondo Road, and unless if we move backwards as you're trying to connect to Nakasero Hill Road, if you're using Chadondo Road to connect to Nakasero Hill Road, you'll be finding some bit of slow movement and traffic in the middle there. But after that, when you join Nakasero Hill Road, there is no traffic at all, as you can see. If you want to join Akibua Road, now Akibua Road is the one that has Nakasero Hospital, you'll be finding no traffic on that road. And well, usually if you can use it as an access route as well, you're better off using that one. Now, if you are onto Lumumba Avenue has no traffic, Buganda Road has no traffic, Haji Musa Kasula Road has no traffic until you get to the lights. That is where you'll be finding a lot of traffic. For you who is exiting onto Bombo Road or onto Wandegea Road, you'll be finding a lot of it. If you are exiting Bombo Road or exiting town, still further onto Bombo Road, there is traffic in the middle there. If you're exiting to proceed onto Haji Musa Kasula Road, Makere Hill Road, after the lights is when you only be safe to use this road. However, if you are coming from town or coming from Makere Hill Road, you'll be finding a bit of traffic in the middle, but nothing much for you to worry about. Makere Hill Road also proceeds to have a little bit of traffic, and this happens to be on both sides, but this is this does not take long, as you will find it easier to move shortly after you've passed via those parts that seem to be having some traffic. Sao Paulo Kagua Road has no traffic, just slow movement and nothing for you to worry about as you're making your way to the different destinations that you will be headed for. And well, that's it for our traffic updates this morning. Stay tuned. Good Morning Uganda agenda is up next.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
He expected me to die like within the first 2 years.
Out of the blue, the child will get pains, especially in the wrists. And this happens commonly when children are starting to walk.
Was brought to you by You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21 hash and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Juko. Yo.
Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief, and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government, designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Abantu batori nywena Nyati Motion Pictures ebaletire filmu erukuoleka ebyafaayo bya Toro kuruka hamukama watora yabandize kaboyo kasusunkwanzi. Ijo manya urubuga rwa Toro rukarugira nkaha kurweta Fort Poto.
Toro Kingdom was carved out of Bunyoro Kitara.
In 1830,
King Nyamutukura
akasindika omutabani we.
Kaboyo byekire Toro kama twongere kumumchwekere bukodo.
I'm forming my own kingdom.
Nyoro na batoro basically muntu omu.
Tuko pamoja? Filimu enu neja kurorwa Hanyaika Hotel kya Sabiti ebiro byokwezi 18 omwezi gwa 8 kutandika saa 10 kichweka izarwe bagyo. Kutunga tiketi yawe tere simu namba 0778 mukaga 0.
107.3, Kampala 96.9, Mbale 95.7, Jinja 98.6, Soroti. You are all covered.
UBC Mutego.
Yikwaya dola wini kune. Awasoga muliyo. Atekeri na iteso haibija sensi.
UBC Mutego.
Welcome back to The Uplift, where we explore natural solutions for a healthier and happier life. Today we're delving into natural remedies that can help you improve the quality of your sleep. Now let's dive into the world of better sleep. First, establish a bedtime routine. Create a calming environment to signal to your body that it's time to wind down. Dim the lights, read a book, or listen to soothing music. Taking a warm bath, or practicing gentle yoga stretches. These rituals can help calm your mind and prepare your body for restful sleep. Next, limit your exposure to screens before bed. Our electronic devices emit blue light that can interfere with the production of the sleep hormone melatonin. Try to limit screen time at least an hour before bed. Instead, try reading a physical book or engaging in relaxing activities. Another effective remedy is to incorporate exercise into your daily routine. Physical activity releases endorphins, reduces stress, and promotes restful nights. Just remember to exercise at least a few hours before bedtime to allow your body to cool down. Additionally, be mindful of what you consume before bed. Avoid caffeine, nicotine, and heavy meals close to bedtime, as they can keep you awake. Herbal teas have been used for centuries to promote relaxation and improve sleep. Chamomile, valerian root, and lavender teas are known for their calming properties. Sip on a warm cup about 30 minutes before bedtime to help induce a sense of tranquility. Another classic remedy that many swear by is a warm glass of milk before bedtime. Add a pinch of nutmeg for an extra calming effect. The combination of tryptophan in milk and the soothing properties of nutmeg can help promote relaxation. Essential oils can be a game changer when it comes to sleep. Lavender, chamomile, and bergamot are known for their calming effects. Consider using a diffuser in your bedroom or applying a few drops to your pillow or wrists before bedtime for a soothing aroma that can promote better sleep. Creating a comfortable sleep environment is also crucial. Invest in a good quality mattress, pillows, and bedding. Keep the room cool, dark, and quiet. Consider blackout curtains or earplugs if necessary. Lastly, manage stress with relaxation techniques. Practicing mindfulness meditation can help quiet a busy mind. Spend a few minutes before bed focusing on your breath, engaging in a body scan, or using guided meditation apps. Clear your mind and let go of any tension to invite peaceful slumber. And there you have it, some natural remedies to help you achieve better sleep quality. Remember, finding what works best for you might take some trial and error. Thanks for watching. This program is produced by Sani Productions, powered by UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
Mukoke Fish Farmers Association tuli balunzi ba byananda ebyebika ebisatu omuli Miracap, tilapia oba engege ni catfish twete Tamale. Group eno twatandika twali abantu basatu nga tulingirira obwetaavu obwebyenanda obw'obwiva eno okubona nti tufuna okasente akava mu maadi agali gatambula butambule nga gatubita ku wanu ng'ekirabo. Twatandika ni fish pond ndala mu mwaka gw'e2018. Twebaza fisheries officer ni district ya Bugiri babanga batulagirira ku Sani Fish Farm ebwikwe inside day dindeyo twabanga tusobola okufuna kwetuusaako obugege obwasooka era mu mwaka ogwali 2020 awo basobola okuba nga batuwaayo ebyenanda emitwalo $400 okuva mu operation werese creation era okuba ayongerezaako emmere yatuweebwa okuva Uganda Poultry Breeders. Twasobola okuba nga tusoloza akasente akawerera obukayire nga 42. Twasobola okuba nga tubuinvestinga oba okubona nti twongerezaako ku bimu ku bintu bye tukola gano twebaza gavumenti yaife okuba nga buli saawa efaayo okuba nga efeeri y'Abannayuganda.
Amanya gange ndi tubona Kiranda Amina mu company eya WIB Uganda Limited ndi member. Wemba member company eno weyeida twalinga tutuli bulungi nga abakyala abe wakawaka. Abakyala abe wakawaka tuemera kuba ami baife nga bonkana abajamu nandanga twidi nti abakyala tebakozesa ki nanda. UN Women weyeida yatuteekateeka yatwegesa okulunda engege nga abakyala. Twatandika beno okudulunda n'okudirisa n'okolaki twafunamu ng'abakyala ababujiri district. Abakyala ababujiri district sofa tuli abakyala 14 abakola project eya WIB. Abakyala 14 twayawula mu sectors. Mulimu abakyala ba production abaliisa, mwaba abakyala ba validation abongera engege omutindo bayongerako omutindo, twaba n'abakyala ba harvesting abaharvestinga, twaba n'abakyala abakola aba marketing. Sector dona diri trained era didi kyedikola. Project eno tufunyemu nga abakyala. Government yaife ne ya Uganda njebaza okujja kujanga batulingirira mu nga abakyala Abannayuganda eri kujanga eturobingira ebibiina bingi. We have UWEB, baleta parish development model, we have Myoga, byona biri kwida muki mu bakyala oba mu bantu abaki aba Uganda.
Dealing with bloating and stomach discomfort can be a challenging and uncomfortable experience. Whether it's post-meal discomfort or that pesky bloated feeling, finding relief is a common goal for many individuals. Get ready to kick bloating to the curb with a set of exercises designed to bring relief to your stomach. No fancy equipment needed, just your dedication and a desire for that amazing post-exercise bliss. Your journey to a happier tummy starts now. Let's get moving. Number 1. Walking. A post-meal walk. Not only encourages gentle movement in your abdomen, but also helps activate your digestive muscles. The rhythmic motion of walking aids in the natural contractions of the digestive tract, facilitating smoother digestion and reducing the chances of bloating. Number 2. Deep breathing. Deep breathing engages your diaphragm, promoting relaxation and reducing the stress response. Stress can contribute to bloating, so practicing deep breathing helps create a calming effect, supporting optimal digestion and potentially alleviating bloating. Number 3. Cycling. Whether cycling outdoors or on a stationary bike, the continuous pedaling engages core muscles. This engagement helps stimulate blood circulation in the abdominal area, promoting digestive efficiency and reducing bloating. Number 4. Abdominal massage. By using gentle circular motions in a clockwise direction, you're not only increasing blood flow but also encouraging the movement of gas through the intestines. This can be particularly beneficial for those experiencing discomfort due to trapped gas. Number 5. Plank pose. Holding a plank engages multiple muscle groups, including the core. This activation supports the digestive organs and enhances muscle tone, potentially aiding in digestion and reducing feelings of bloating. Number 6. Pelvic tilts. This exercise involves controlled movement of the pelvis, activating muscles in the lower abdomen. It enhances flexibility and promotes gentle massage-like effects, potentially assisting in relieving tension and bloating. Number 7. Leg raises. Lying on your back and lifting your legs engages the lower abdominal muscles. This movement increases blood circulation in the area, promoting digestive health and potentially reducing bloating. Number 8, bicycle crunches. The twisting and cycling motion in this exercise engage the entire core, including oblique muscles. This can enhance the efficiency of the digestive process, potentially providing relief from bloating. Number 9, Pilates. Pilates focuses on controlled movements and core strength. Many exercises involve precise muscle engagement, supporting the abdominal region and potentially improving digestion, reducing bloating over time. Number 10, aerobic exercises, brisk walking, jogging, or dancing. During aerobic exercises, increase heart rate and stimulate blood circulation throughout the body, including the abdominal area. This enhanced blood flow supports optimal digestion, reducing the likelihood of bloating. Produced by Sani Productions, powered by UBC TV, inspiring Uganda.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning and thank you very much for being with us on UBC TV. Welcome to the agenda. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono. Now this morning we want to be discussing something very important. Most of the times people get on our roads, but the question is, do they qualify to be on the roads driving? Second, do they know the basic tips on safety driving or safe driving? Because they are foundations or fundamentals that a person who is going to go on the road must know. Now, things became very risky when we moved away from most of the cars on our roads being under manual transition, and now we have the automatic cars, where it makes it very easy for someone to learn driving. A person can teach you at home, a person anywhere, and now many people don't go to driving schools. They either will drive without a road license, or somehow the government is doing all it takes to ensure that whoever has a driving license actually went through a driving school. But we have many that have never stepped foot in a driving school but have a valid driving license. Now this makes matters complicated. But today I have Tamale Wilson from Country View Driving School. He's a driving instructor. He has taught for the last so many years professional drivers with whom we want to discuss and find solutions to some of the problems facing us as we are on our roads. You're most welcome.
Thank you very much.
I'm happy having you here, more so when we discuss that in this country, Uganda, most of what we call accidents actually are not road accidents. They are avoidable, and they are results of incompetence on the road, recklessness, drunken driving, and all those. So when I have a driving instructor, then I'm sure our viewer, there's so much you're going to learn by the end of this show, or that will prompt you either to go and have these skills, or if you have them, you're reminded to put them into practice. Now, when you talk about something, those in driving call it a driving philosophy.
Yes, please.
It may be new to many who have never gone to a driving school, but this is one of the principles of you driving. And allow my guest to first throw more light on this.
Thank you very much. My name is Tamale Wilson, Director, Country View Driving School since 1983. About 41 years in service, in the vehicle industry, and all types of people, categories of people using our roads, more especially in Uganda and out of Uganda. We have, or you have talked about driving philosophy. When we talk about that, people might think it is a philosophy of some other sectors and maybe other industries, and some things are done by different people. When we come to using our roads, that term means, you know, doing and using, practicing what we call traffic norms. Traffic norms like here, using all the things, skills, concentrations, and other things you have to know, among others. You have to know that driving is not all about dealing with the steering, pedals, braking system, and other things. But you have, all driving is more than that. You have to know that you have to be trained in many areas of driving and have certain foundations, which you can call pillars of driving, and make sure you are a safe and competent driver, and make sure you can save the people you have inside your vehicle or on your vehicle if you are riding or driving a motorcycle or riding a bicycle. So you have to know that the road, you don't just come from anywhere or from your house, from your compound, and just join our roads. You have to make sure you follow what we call traffic rules.
Now, that said, it brings me to ask, what are some of the qualities of a competent, professional driver?
Yes. Being a competent needs somebody really to know what he's doing. And what knowing what you are doing is what we call a skill. If you really know what you are doing, you have to make sure you will be a competent driver by being trained, having a skill which is practical, hands-on, really with your vehicle of any classification. You have to know what you are doing. Actually, understanding what you are doing is the skill. Knowing what you are doing is knowledge. And actually, seeing all around and making sure your eyes give you something. You scan the road very well. Use your brains to perceive something. Then practically use parts of your body like hands and legs to take you where you want. Actually, if you have the attitude that wraps up everything, putting together your skill and your knowledge, you will be a competent. In the middle, just put attitude in between. Actually, a driver like that must have those qualities, among others. Discipline is part of them, self-control, and also what we call voluntary and willingly adhere to all the traffic rules according to the Traffic and Road Safety Act as well as the Highway Code.
Now, one of the things you've talked about brings in the element of concentration.
Yes.
What do we mean when we say concentration is very vital for a driver? Because today we're in a world where there's social media. Someone is driving, someone is driving, and what? At the same time, they are either WhatsApping or they have received a phone call. You know, someone is driving. Maybe they're even rushing to work. They're sending an email to someone.
Yes.
I've seen someone who has a laptop on the thighs, and she's driving, and at one moment say, "Well, I have to do this, I have to do that." So, second, you're driving. There's a border person. One comes from the other side, this other side. Someone has thrown an insult to you. So when we talk about driver concentration, how best and what is this, so that we can avoid accidents?
Yes. Concentration is given 100% when you are to be safe on our roads with the people you have in your vehicle, yourself as a driver, the other people on the road, which we call third party, and also the ones can be another vehicle like a passenger vehicle, PSV, or a commercial vehicle carrying goods and things. You have not to divide your mind. The other words, maybe two of them we can use equally to concentration, is attention, alertness, and all your behavior you are going to do. As we started now this program, we talked about accidents and crashes. But you have to know that accidents are just human error. If you do a little small thing out of what is expected of you, you turn your head just an angle of about maybe even 10 degrees, you are going to crash. So somebody concentrative must be always putting his mind and thoughts on what he's doing. So don't look at things and people who don't matter. There are some things which obstruct a driver. Actually, you have to make sure that you are not obstructed. And these things are common to all of us. Speaking on phone, involved into talks and people's arguments and others. Just not doing, not focusing, not scanning, and you do something else. Actually, concentration means you should not divide your mind. Just be focused on what you are doing and make sure you reach safely and make sure you keep people's lives and things which can be destroyed and put us back economically, and families suffer
now, Mr. Tamale,
because of what you have been doing.
When you talk about concentration, yes, I know I'm driving to Entebbe.
Yes, please.
I get in my car, that's where I'm going. There is music in the car sometimes. There's a radio program I'm listening to. Sometimes people have a lot of things on their mind. I remember one time around one day, some lady bumped into me, and when I turned, she was on the steering wheel crying. But the way she was all over shedding tears, I noticed that she had been crying for some time. And I asked her what, she said, I'm going to report my husband. I didn't get the details, but I never bothered. When I looked at the person behind the wheel, all tears, you know, even now I've knocked you. Just said, you know what? Please, the police station is just around there. Can I drive you there? No, no, no. I said, okay. So people have a lot on their mind.
Yes.
So if someone is so stressed, shouldn't they drive?
Oh, they should, but we have to avoid what we call road stress. For example, stress is categorized in two parts. There is what we call sad stress. There is what we call exciting stress. Both of them are dangerous to us on roads. For example, what we call exciting stress can cause accident to many people. For example, what comes out of excitement turns to be sad. If you are promoted on or at your job, if your soccer team has won, if your political candidate has won, then you go around driving around, jumping traffic signs. It can be even a red one which tells you stop, and you go on making beeps, horns, beep, beep. So that one, everybody will look at you and doesn't understand what's going on and ends up running into your vehicle. So that one is also, maybe you are promoted, maybe you are given some money on your phone which you didn't expect, anything like that. But also, as well as sad stress is very dangerous if you really lose somebody. In Uganda we have a saying, "Enviri kumutwe." Something happens without your expectation. That also causes accidents. Always, if you lose somebody, maybe you have lost money, your house has caught fire or vehicle, or anything like that. So both of them are dangerous. What you have to do, you have to make sure you prepare your journey, make a trip plan, measure, because drivers do science, history, geography, mathematics. If when they don't know, or calculate what you are going to do and make sure you will be there in time. Driving at impatience, driving at panic, driving when really you have missed some of the things. Violating traffic rules is always dangerous to all road users.
Now that brings in the element of anticipation.
Yes.
When we talk about this in driving, because you seem that a driver, you should have your journey in your head even before you start.
Yes.
You shouldn't just wake up and say we are going to Kasese, you've never been there, no imagination, you don't plan very well. Now let's look at the element of anticipation in driving.
Anticipation can be explained by people who went to school, have degrees in another sense, who know much English. But when we come to driving ethics, you have to make sure that you expect the unexpected. Anticipation means foresee, look ahead, and make sure you know what to do in case anything happens. We talked about somebody. There is no second a border is not crossing or cut across in front of you and makes you brake forcefully or harshly. You have to make sure you look, turn on your right, turn on your left, look ahead, look behind, using the two eyes a driver has on the road. The eyes on your head, focus ahead. The second eye, mirrors, look what is coming from behind. All the time, you might think that that man who is driving a boda, a bicycle, or another vehicle has seen you, or is going to do what is expected of him, but ends up doing something different. Anticipation is looking at something, seeing and knowing. It might be something actual or something potential. For example, you can look at somebody is on your side. We are driving on the left, and then somebody you think that he's going along with you, but then all of a sudden you see him cutting in front of you, going on another direction. But also that person can be on a bicycle, and you think you are going together. You end up, you see him waving here and there, and ends up running into your tires. So all potential hazards, you have to make sure that you will catch the situation before you crash.
We are looking at safe driving and how best we can ensure that we are fit to be on the road. Looking at some of those principles of good driving, we talked about concentration. When you're on the road, what are your concentration levels? Are you so much messed up that day that you shouldn't be on the road? Actually, not by drinking, but maybe there's so much running in your head that you are not able to concentrate very well. Let's also look at the skill. People say driving is a skill.
Yes.
And how skilled I am also matters. Take us through the element of skill as well.
Actually, driving is a skill which needs somebody to be trained, not anywhere. Because people train themselves. You mentioned about that.
Yes.
In their compounds, garages, washing bays, yes, some roads,
those feeder roads,
feeder roads around there. But actually you have to go to one place. It is called a driving school. It's called a driving school. So you have to go to a qualified, licensed, And the institution which is registered by government, by Ministry of Works and Transport, and known by other sectors, stakeholders, and the rest. So always you have to make sure that if you talk about skill, it's a way of maneuvering a vehicle and make it perform the way you like. And you also allow it to perform the way it likes, because the road speaks, the driver speaks, and also vehicles speak. You might find the vehicle creating some noise from all the components which make it. A vehicle is one unit, but comprised of many components put together to make it work and be driven on the road. So always you have to make sure that when you have that skill, it means also using your body parts. I know that when you are driving a vehicle, all your body moves, but there are some special parts like eyes to scan the road very well, brain to perceive what you have seen, and the brain sends to the hands to control the components of vehicle, and also the leg, control the pedals, and those to take you where you want to go. So always skill is got from training and training institutions. So you must be skillful to understand what you are doing. Yes, please.
I love the word skills, and it's very important as well. Now, this takes me to another element in driving, which I find also very important. That is your attitude.
Yes.
Sometimes you wonder and you're like, but really, did this person, what is wrong? So let's also look at the importance of attitude in driving.
In driving, we have to know that we have mentioned almost the three, even more areas of driving. We have already told you about skill. We are going to talk about attitude. Now, attitude is the general outlook of the situations, conditions, places, road surface, weather change, or adverse conditions. Are you driving at night? Are you driving in rainy season? Are you coming across fog, dust, or smoke? They are burning charcoal on the left. They are burning bricks on the left, and the smoke comes in and makes a pillar on the road, and you lose vision. So what I'm saying is your attitude should change. Your behavior should change. Many accidents happen because of attitude. You can look at, for example, somebody who has driven more than 30 or 50 years and does something which shouldn't be done by that age. Somebody of 18 years. And there are vehicles, actually. You can be driving a PSV, carrying people, or maybe commercial vehicle carrying goods, and you may be doing some other things on the road. Some people sell things on our roads, some people promote things on our roads, but your attitude differs according to your behavior. So many accidents happen because somebody has not judged rightly, somebody has not thought correctly, and somebody has not made a very good decision. So the decision you make, that which will make people safe on the road, in your vehicle or your vehicle, and other people on the road, is very important. And that one can either save people or finish, crash, and everybody is injured. So please be with a right attitude when you are going to use our roads.
I love the fact that now you bring in attitude. You know that we always say change of attitude.
Yes.
Your attitude will determine your altitude and all that. But in driving, this is also another important factor to look at. Now, let's look at the element also of knowledge. I've seen a person who will tell you, for me, if you tell me to drive from UBC to Entebbe, even if you tie something on my eyes, I can get there.
Yes.
Someone tells you, I know that road, I know where every corner is, I know where every pothole is, I know. So, literally saying, I'm very knowledgeable of that. So, I don't, even if I have 5 minutes left, I'll leave my place in Machindia, I'll get to UBC in time. I know every corner, I know everything. But let's look at the element of knowledge now.
When it comes to using our roads safely, you need to be knowledgeable. Knowledge is knowing what you are doing on the road. Actually, it is the theoretical part of driving. If you are not trained, actually, training institutions must have an environment which includes class. Country view driving school cannot be given a license if I don't have a class which can train people and give them knowledge. So you must have the theory of driving in a class. We can have practical of driving as skill, but also we can have mental part of driving as attitude. But now, if you have the knowledge about yourself as a driver, and you have the knowledge about the vehicle you are driving, are you fit and well to drive as a driver right from your bedroom? Can you make some things which will make you safe as a pre-trip of your journey? Can you check your vehicle? What are you supposed to check before you start your journey? That is knowledge. Now, are you okay? Are you safe? Are you knowledgeable about how you are going to handle and interact with other road users? That takes us to knowledge. You must know what you are doing, and you can only get that from the classroom. That is even reading books, following the language spoken on the road, signs, signals, road markings, knowing that a driver must not drive under an influence of alcohol. Actually, alcohol and vehicles don't mix. Do you know that your eyes must be well, good, and not only that they are sick, but because of what you are using can impair your ability to scan the road very well. Brain, your physical fitness, and everything like that. So somebody to be knowledgeable must know all concerning about himself, the road, and the elements I have mentioned.
Someone must have that good knowledge. Are you good to go? But now we have also another challenge, self-discipline.
Yes. Somebody who is disciplined can be also courteous, because those two move together. Discipline is having a very good kind of expectation, or something you can term as following procedures of a certain subject matter. If you know that you are going to be prosperous in whatever you are doing, you want to be safe on the road, you are going to not to be lazy when you are doing something and extravagant in one way or the other, you have to be disciplined. Discipline is an act of creating a certain atmosphere, a certain behavior within yourself, and that becomes part of your life. That is discipline. You have to make sure that you can also have certain kinds of disciplines. You can put them in classifications. For example, you can have a discipline called shudo. That shudo makes somebody pretending that I'm doing something right. For example, I can give you example. You are driving and a pickup full of traffic officers is behind you. Are you going to behave the way you have been behaving when they are not there? Take an example where they divert and take another road. We call it change of travel. And after that, you continue with your 150, 120 speed. You can even stop at a snake when it is crossing, or a fly or another thing because of them. But then after that, you try to drive a speed which is not allocated at that area, or which is not allowed, or which is dangerous to other road users. You can have to make sure that I'm not pretending. I have to do exactly what, when I'm trained, I do exactly what I'm supposed to do. And discipline, another discipline, is hypocritical. Don't try to bribe people, to bribe even your family, to bribe other road users. You have to make sure, if you have not put on a good tire which has tread, and you think that I'm driving this, I might find spare somewhere else, and you are doing something which is not allowed, you are even hypocritical to yourself. So you have to make sure you do the right thing. There is also another discipline which is actually imposed on drivers and other road users. No, I don't want to know. May I have a new vehicle, expensive one. I don't mind other road users. I close myself in windows. I am rude. I am not interacting, and I don't do good things and right things, being sympathetic to any road user, even sympathetic to my vehicle, but I also mistreat others. That one is a very poor discipline. But also, we have another one which is good and which somebody can follow as far as traffic and road safety or highway code is concerned. That is voluntary and willing discipline. You are doing something, you are behaving very well on the road without being coerced. So you know that I have to do this and I'm trained in this kind of thing. You have to do exactly. I'm routinely checking my vehicle before I start. I plan my journey and I know where I'm going. There are some people who are hired. You don't know the road. You don't know where humps are, corners, and things like those. You have to actually inquire from other people, other road users, get the history of the place, and also the geography of the place. That becomes part of your life, to know that I'm really doing something which is disciplined, which is going to be safe, and which is going to help and promote our families as far as life is concerned, accidents are concerned, economy of our country, and prosperity to our countries, to avoid staying so much in hospitals, staying so much in graves, staying and avoiding, making sure that human error and accidents which are called man-made are because of the driver not actually respecting other road users and traffic rules.
You've pointed out that there are a result of the driver not respecting himself and the traffic guidelines. But now we're in an era where many people are not going to driving schools.
Yes.
Actually, many will tell you they perfect the art of driving and master the various road signs because they buy these books, they're everywhere. Then someone teaches you to drive. Then when you go to the testing bit of it, you're tested and you know what to do. In this day and age, why is it still relevant for me to go to a driving school?
Yeah.
If I can, someone can teach me to drive. If I can buy these pamphlets that are on the streets everywhere, in bookshops, get to know the road signage very well. And if I can pass even the driving test in Naguru, why should I then waste my money, waste my time, and go for driving lessons?
Yeah.
In a driving school.
When we come to acquiring those three, we talked about the skill, knowledge, and attitude, but also making sure that you know that you must have very good parts of your body functioning properly. We wouldn't even take our children to schools. We would get a tutor, or we could read at home various books depending on the topics and also the course you are taking. But you need somebody to explain to you some of the things, demonstrate to you some of the things. You'll be an example of somebody to be imitated. And also you practice something you have learned. That is important because, like I said, that teaching institutions have to have a place where they get that kind of knowledge to act properly and to handle vehicles on the roads, different classification of vehicles. That also involves extensions, and also if you want to start afresh, but also you want to recover some of your documents to make you be safe on the road and allowed as a qualified driver and authorized driver to use our roads. You have to be told there are actually precautions and some things put by ministries, police, and other institutions which can be used for training. If some people didn't have a lot of education, but there are some other tactics you can use to impart, to put some knowledge to that person. For example, the language, like signs, signals, road markings. They are not there for only educated people or the non-educated. So
I can learn them.
Yes.
They are very critical when I come to driving school.
Yes, you can learn them because we even put them in symbols. Yeah, there are very few where we put words. Why we even put them in symbols for the non-educated? Because if you get somebody from the village, I will not mention the village. They just say, you know your village, you're coming many miles from the towns. And you tell that somebody, have you seen this group of sign? It's triangular upright.
They won't understand it.
He doesn't know how to read.
Well, we can take a whole day when we go to signage or road signs per se, but we must give room for the sportsmen who will be coming in, Ruben Chipirango. Now, let me just, in a minute, please, have your final word and we leave room.
Driving is an art. If you come on our roads, don't just merge, all come in. I know you have been driving a bicycle. Now you have gone to a motorcycle. You have gone to a higher class, a vehicle. You are using a vehicle for different purposes. I'm saying be trained, have training. Don't just come to our roads. Be patient, be sober. Don't just use things which will obstruct you, which will divert you. Make sure when you come to our road, respect all rules and respect other road users. Check the vehicle before you start it and make sure you are causing and making a safe situation and condition for everybody. Try not to cause problems, but always make sure you cause a solution for everybody for the sake of road safety.
Well, thank you so much, Tamale Wilson, who happens to be the director, Country View Driving School. And of course, thank you, our viewer. I hope you've benefited. One person once told me, it was my instructor, that you're the only sober person on the road, the rest are not. That is not abusive, but that is one of the reasons that you drive safe, because you know that everybody isn't sober, they don't know what they're doing, so I must save their lives and save my life as well. Ruben is here to take you through sports updates. See you in the next hour. Thank you so much for being with us, and keep it on UBC.